So hi and welcome to the NORA Showreels. My name is Carly Bowra. I'm a proud member of the NORA Network Advisory Council, and I'm a former head of marketing for Big W, having spent the last 15 years at the Woolworths Group. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Phil Reichelt. Phil, you're the founder and principal of Tenant Leasing Group, or TLG for short. How did the venture come about?
Well, thank you, Carly, for having me today. So look, I started out as a paper boy, would you believe? I used to go from house to house selling papers in South Plympton, Adelaide, and later in the Adelaide CBD. I worked for retail with Kmart just on Anzac Highway, if you know Adelaide. But I love being outdoors, and I trained as a surveyor. And then I stumbled across what was known at the time as property resource management, which we know now as valuation. And property was a fairly close shop back in Adelaide then, but I came a little bit from left field, and I enjoyed it, and that led me to a Bachelor of Business majoring in property valuation. And I got my first proper job with Elders in 1993, and here we are now. And after 17 years in the industry, I struck out on my own and founded Tenant Leasing Group, TLG for short. And I've always liked having autonomy and choosing who I'd like to work with, and who are often entrepreneurs and founders, and also choosing the type of work that I like to take on. Hence, I set up my own advisory, and this is why a way to achieve where we are today.
That sounds amazing. What does TLG do, and what sets you apart from other property advisories? What's your niche, and how do you add value to clients?
Yeah, great question, Carly. We offer a business. What we offer businesses are dedicated commercial property solutions for industrial, multi-site retail, and head office that are in their best interest as occupiers. So, as a tenant-only advisor, we are trusted in the industry by our clients as a safe pair of hands for property sourcing and lease negotiations. We specialise in specific property sectors, namely industrial and logistics, warehouses and factory sites, multi-site retail projects, and head offices, both for CBD and regional. So we've also got a close-knit relationships with a select delivery partners who offer end-to-end solutions to their clients who need it. So right through from designing the market brief to sourcing the property, negotiating the deal, and planning and delivery of the project, both base build monitoring and fit out, racking and other specific build requirements. Some of these relationships we've been cultivated for over 20 years. So we're highly selective about who we work with. On the industrial side of our business, we have a strong long-term relationship with MCD Australia, who are project management specialists who have been successfully delivering industrial projects to their clients for over 25 years. And MCD's expertise are in design, planning and delivery, which means they can tailor a procurement strategy to suit the project needs. And also they have good relationships with contractors and expertise to manage them, and they're quite firm but fair. So working together, we can offer a sort of a turnkey industrial property solution to clients who need it. So businesses can choose to work with just us or MCD independently or as an integrated team. One thing that TLG and MCD share, which are important to me, is our personal, flexible approach to working with clients. So no matter the scale of the project, this is how we've been able to build long-term relationships, and it's something our repeat clients really appreciate. So kind of to sum up, we're tenant-only advisors. So our clients know we've got no conflict of interest. We're specialised in warehouse, multi-site retail and head office leasing. And we have a long-term relationship with our delivery partnership in the industrial sector, meaning we can guide our clients through every step of their property journey.
Yeah, great. And why are the connections and networks so important when it comes to leasing retail and industrial property? And how does your advisory help with this?
Another good question, Carly. Well, the key thing that we've found over the years is relationships, and relationships are the gateway to knowledge and deal making. One thing we're lucky to have built up over this time is a network of agents, designers and logistics consultants and other providers, as well as relationships with landlords and developers. All of these different stakeholders come to us with information expertise and opportunities, and allow us to deliver premium access to suitable property solutions for our clients. So having these relationships in place is crucial to making sure we can realise the optimum strategy for our client and get them into the right sites.
Amazing. And what is the secret to successful lease negotiation? How do you get the best deals for occupiers, whether they're looking for a shopping centre tenancy or an industrial warehouse site?
Well, the secret recipe, it's really a fine line. We try and keep our enemies close, understand their pain points, and try and use to our advantage to gain the upper hand for our clients in their negotiations. Ultimately, the important thing is the lease agreement fulfills the goals of the businesses we're representing. So the site, the location, and the rent, the lease term, the lease commencement, especially for retailers or warehouses over Christmas, we need to be mindful of that. So they've all got to align with the business requirements and the timelines. So that's why we try to achieve in our negotiations, and we find it keeps our clients happy.
And do you work with any international clients? What advice would you give to a foreign retailer or e-commerce firm thinking about opening their first warehouse site in Australia?
Yeah, we actually do a number of international clients, both Australian businesses opening sites overseas, as well as foreign companies entering the Australian market. So look, it's hard to give general advice. First, I think I'd like to know what independent research they've done about their market segment and about what they think they need in terms of commercial space to fulfill expected demand. And second, about getting to grips with the business fundamentals, which also influence the property sourcing brief. And finally, I'd encourage them to get talking. As I said, the key point to getting into the right places at the right times is access, and that's through people and relationships.
Yeah, great. And the last few years have been volatile, to say the least. We've all lived it. COVID, inflation, and now rising interest rates. How has this affected commercial property markets, and what do you think will happen in the future, Phil?
Tough question, Carly. Look, macroeconomic trends, increasing interest rates, surprise, supply chain delays, general cost of goods inflation, and look, we're dealing with in the number of industrial briefs at the moment, and the implications for industrial property markets in particular is just continuing increasing industrial rents. We're seeing major landlords speccing, as in building without tenants, sheds 10,000 to 30,000 square metres, and committing to building contracts, of obscene amounts of money without locking tenants in or getting AFL signed, which is unheard of. So, it's probably uncharted waters we're going through at the moment. So there's a great deal of uncertainty on both the lessee and the lessor side. So I don't think no one really knows. We're hoping for the best, and I'm sure it will, but we just don't know where the future lands. So we try and stick to what's important in an uncertain environment, which is controlling the negotiation process based on the information available to all respective parties and knowing clearly what our client wants. So we try and use our skills and our knowledge and connections to get the outcomes for our clients.
And in the age of online retail and e-commerce, you must have many clients with hybrid retail warehouse property requirements. How can these firms be strategic about leasing?
Yeah, no, good question, Carly. Again, with most of our clients, we directly deal with the founder or the CEO, the MD, the COO or the CFO, or someone in a similar role who has close rein on the retail and supply chain operations of the businesses. So this close relationship means we have a deep and centralised understanding of their requirements, and we can work seamlessly to deliver the right mix of retail and industrial property solutions to suit their business requirements.
Can you give us a sense of your commercial offer? What arrangements do you have with clients, whether it's variable cost, licensing fees, or monthly retainer?
Yes, certainly can, Carly. We're a lean and specialist team, so we don't have many overheads, and that allows us to focus on maximising value for each client we work with. And in some cases, we offer discrete site searches or lease negotiation services. In others, we operate on a retainer basis. For example, for multi-site retail projects, we may work on a retainer, or we may agree a fixed fee and a success fee. And for warehouse and offices, similar. We work on a retainer, or we may agree a fixed fee and a success fee.
And can you give us a sense of who you work with in Australia?
Yep. We work with a range of innovative retailers and e-commerce firms across Australia and New Zealand, including a number of international brands and some who I've already mentioned. For example, Koala. They're a disruptive e-commerce furniture startup with a mix of retail, showroom, office and warehouse requirements. Culture Kings, a global fashion brand specialising in streetwear and high-value innovative events and community-based retail experiences. Blockhouse, bouldering. They're a premier indoor climbing chain around Australia, now the country's biggest, and we look after their industrial requirements. And at the moment, we're in talks. Unfortunately, I can't name these at this stage, but a transitional financial services group with warehouse requirements, an international retail franchise. Who else? An exciting e-commerce business and a couple of technology companies with some interesting retail and commercial needs.
How interesting. So it sounds like you're working with some amazing innovators and disruptors in our industry. Who do you think are some of the big names of the future of retail, and which businesses would you be excited to work with?
Yeah, look, I mean, probably that is our point of difference, Carly, and we're particularly interested in businesses at the early stage rollout and firms with an e-commerce bent, but more broadly, anyone who is innovating in their field. So, look, our fast-growing client portfolio, jointly delivered by our industrial partners, pretty much are warehouses of like 5,000 square metres or more. Some of the verticals we specialise in are financial services, technology, that'd be manufacturing, consumer, electronics, medical, high-end and service-based retail, as well as furniture and homewares, and a food and beverage, and a range of e-commerce ventures. And we work with startups too. So look, we handle the industrial logistics, the multi-site retail, or head office requirements, or a mix of all three. So reach out. Let's see what we can do.
That's an incredible range of clients. Phil, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's been lovely speaking to you, Carly.